All we're saying is you can't carry a gun in town.
I have 2 guns, one for each of you.
For years, Tombstone thrilled fans with its action and unforgettable lines. But there was something most viewers never figured out at that time. Now Sam Elliott has finally spoken, revealing a quiet detail that changes everything. His heartfelt confession leaves a deeper, more emotional mark on every fan who thought they knew the full story. Join us as we uncover what this revelation is all about. When Tombstone began shooting, Sam Elliott was excited to play Virgil Herb. He believed in the story and felt proud to join the cast. From day one, he watched director Kevin Jarre work his magic on paper. Jarre had a strong voice. He shaped lines, cast the actors, and even chose every detail like mustache styles and spurs. Elliot admired that vision and was happy to be part of it. But almost right away, Sam knew something wasn't right on set. By the 3rd day, he realized Jarre was struggling. The shots weren't coming together the way they needed to. Instead of close-ups and energy, Jarre leaned into long, old-fashioned, wide shots, great for classic westerns, but out of place for this take on the story. Elliot could sense the tension building. He saw Jarre refusing help, even from the seasoned cinematographer William Fraker. Jarre stuck to his vision, but the result wasn't working. Sam's concern came from a place of care. He wasn't trying to criticize. He adored Jarre's writing. He loved how the script drew each character, and he believed in its cast. To Sam, Jarre's script was something special. But seeing the direction fumble, he couldn't stay silent. He understood that if the film didn't adapt, the heart of the story might be lost. The sadness from casting and crew was real. When Jarre was dismissed after about a month, they cared deeply for Jarre and he had created this world they were all set to bring to life. Losing him was like losing the captain of the ship. It was difficult, emotional, and heavy. With Jarre gone, trust hung in the air. George P. Cosmatos came aboard, but he had only a few days to get up to speed. From the cast's viewpoint, the crew needed more direction than he could offer alone. It was then that Kurt Russell stepped quietly into a leadership role. He began meeting with everyone, focusing on streamlining the script, and even writing nightly shot lists to guide Cosmatos. Sam felt supported through this tense moment. He joined the push to save the film, backing Russell's behind-scenes guidance for a character like Virgil Herb. Losing parts of the script hurt. Sam wished there had been more depth and connective tissue for his role. He admitted that had he known they would cut nearly 30 pages, Mike Land's connective scenes, and emotional moments, he might have turned the role down. But he stayed because he believed in the movie and in the people making it. Elliot felt that the cast and crew rallied for Jarre and each other. Kurt's energy and determination became a beacon. Sam remembered how despite the chaos, Kurt focused on finishing the story with integrity. He made sure scenes kept their emotional punches, especially the bond between Wyatt and Document. Through all this, Sam remained fully in character. Even when George Cosmos shot reshoots and snipped scenes, Elliot held tight to the essence of Virgil. He quietly slipped some dialogue back in, protecting those moments that helped the audience feel closer to his character. In post-production, there was more hustle. Cosmos and the team oversaw a massive reshaping of the film. They restored emotional beats, upped the color, and enhanced tensions. Yet Elliot's scenes still reflected his commitment. His quiet strength is woven into the final cut. When Tombstone finally hit theaters, Sam looked back with mixed feelings. He was proud of what they achieved, but still felt that Virgil's full potential wasn't fully shown. That sense of what could have been hung with him. He knew he'd given everything, even though the film had shifted from Jarrett's deeper vision to a sharper, more action-driven story. Yet Sam never regrets staying. He stood beside his cast family, trusted Kurt's leadership, and helped bring a film they all believed in across the line. Now, you might be feeling a little lost about how all these actually unfolded. Well, don't get too lost, because we're getting into full details about how everything happened. So, stay tuned. Many people do not know that Kevin Jarrett, the original creator and director of Tombstone, began the film with an ambitious vision, but quickly ran into trouble. Once filming started, he hit a snag. His approach closely mirrored old-school westerns. He favored sweeping master shots with very few close-ups and was stubborn about keeping every detail just so, right down to how characters walked and wore their spurs. But this throwback style didn't mesh with the fast-paced demands of modern filmmaking. The movie was already behind schedule and over budget, all while racing toward a Christmas release deadline imposed by Disney. By the third day, even Sam Elliott was skeptical. He saw that Jarrett was struggling to capture essential shots and couldn't balance his roles as writer and first-time director. Cinematographer William Frere also reported creative clashes as Jarrett resisted any suggestions. This tension put the whole production at risk. After about a month of falling behind, producer Andrew Vina and others decided they couldn't wait any longer. Jarrett was let go. No farewell and little time to adjust. Guiding Tombstone back on track became a team effort. Actors like Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Michael Biehn, Powers Booth, and Sam Elliott thought of an idea around the goal of saving the movie. They understood its potential and didn't want Jarrett's departure to affect their work. George P. Cosmatos was brought in on short notice to direct, but Russell immediately stepped up behind the scenes, too. Russell and producer James Jacks trimmed nearly 30 pages from Jarrett's original screenplay, cutting subplots and background moments to sharpen the focus on the key relationship between Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. This change didn't sit well with everyone. Cast members quietly called the reworked version the Kurt and Val show. Suddenly, characters like Virgil, Sam Elliott, Morgan, Bill Paxton, and others had much less time on screen. Their richer backgrounds and emotional moments had been shaved off. What was once a big ensemble exploring family and shared values became a more focused brother romance with intense action and dialogue aimed at the two leads. Sam felt the sting deeply. He loved Jarrett's original script, its warmth, depth, and subtlety. After nearly 30 pages were removed, he said he'd have probably declined the role if he'd known how little Virgil would matter in the final cut. Sam and a few other actors even took matters into their own hands. They quietly slipped some of their favorite lines back into scenes during takes, small acts of rebellion to bring their characters back to life. The tension reached a moment that everyone couldn't endure one evening at a bar. Sam was nursing a beer when someone came and told him that he should have played Wyatt. Sam looked over, his expression soft and knowing, then said simply, "Tell me about it," before taking another drink. That wistful exchange conveyed more than any monologue. His longing and disappointment were clear. With the spotlight on Wyatt and Doc, Sam noticed a shift in on-screen energy. It was still a great performance duo, but the ensemble support had dimmed. Roles that once had meaningful subplots and emotional arcs became background figures in the high-intensity showdown. The narrative lost many connective scenes, small moments of humor, relationship building, peaceful family life. Those were all sacrificed for pace and drama. Yet, even as he felt his characters slipping into the shadows, Sam gave his best. He remained quietly committed during long shooting days. He didn't openly complain on set, but his eyes told a story, revealing how hurt he felt. He wasn't alone in the disappointment. Other actors added their voices, though more cautiously. Michael Biehn said that much of the story was about a larger group of characters, but suddenly the movie was narrowed down to the two leads. Powers Booth and Bill Paxton also felt their parts trimmed. Jarre's original vision was far more enticing, painting the town, the families, and the lives that made Tombstone tick. Despite his quiet frustration, Sam didn't walk away. He stayed and acted, finding ways to keep small glimpses of his character's integrity alive. A nod here, a line whispered, a steady stance. He conveyed Virgil's price, his responsibility, and his unwavering moral presence. In doing so, he showed commitment to the film's heart, even when it was reshaped into a leaner, two-hander drama. At the end of everything, the final version of Tombstone contained only a few of Jarre's filmed moments, about 15 to be precise. Cosmatos oversaw reshoots that added more color and action, while Russell coordinated both on and off-camera efforts. Despite the rocky journey, tight deadlines, budget pressure, and creative upheaval, the movie was completed and released in time. What emerged was a leaner, emotionally sharp Western that focused on its central characters. Though it differed considerably from Jarre's original stirred-up narrative, this whirlwind of creative change turned a near collapse into a success story. One that only worked because the cast and crew came together, fought for the film, and found a way to preserve its heart, even if it meant saying goodbye to pieces of the original script. Although the casts came together to arrange something great, a later part of the directing thrilled most people. So, keep watching to know what really happened. When Kevin Jarre was let go from Tombstone, the story could have fallen apart. But instead, something magical happened. The team scrambled to find a replacement director and brought in George P. Cosmos at the last minute. He arrived with barely any time to prepare. Under this pressure, some of the crew trained in the script's flow felt lost and overlooked. One even thought about quitting because he didn't feel the new director understood or respected Jarre's original vision. In this crisis, Kurt Russell decided it was time to act. He quietly stepped behind the scenes, working each night on shot plans and handing them to Cosmos before sunrise. These were the blueprints for the next day's work. Though he never took the director's credit, he took on that responsibility in spirit, caring more about the film than his own name. Val Kilmer, who played Doc Holliday, saw everything unfold and couldn't hold back his praise. He shared how Kurt sacrificed his own time and energy. Every evening, they would gather, rethink the day's shoot, and rebuild the schedule. Kilmer even stayed at Kurt's place, sleeping on his couch so they could use every extra minute to plan. He ended up with some of the best lines, but he never complained. Instead, he laughed alongside Kurt as they shaped the film's emotional heart. Michael Biehn, who played Johnny Ringo, had a different view. He said that while Kurt didn't formally direct him, everyone acknowledged Kurt saved the film. He described the final director credits as more of a committee effort, but agreed that Russell took charge when it mattered, teaming up with others to soften Jarre's spreading screenplay and guide the movie through chaos. Even Reddit fans have woven this legend into the film's lore, describing how Kurt kept passing secret notes, quietly held things together, and refused to let the movie collapse. This dedicated effort created something that resonated with everyone watching. It was just certain that George Cosmatos read from Kurt's nightly plans. But it was Russell's vision that shaped the story. He chose to stay uncredited, but his impact showed in every scene. He sharpened the emotional bond between Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday, creating a connection that became the heart of the film. Now, when everyone thought that things were finally falling into place,